Hey, welcome back into another video here on the Ecom Season channel. Today, we're doing something really fun. We are covering yet another live example, a case study, so that you guys can actually see this inside my computer, taking a quick look in the ad account so you can see exactly what it looks like. I'm a visual learner, so I like to teach that way, and I know based on the feedback every time we do it, you guys enjoy it as well. So what we're about to go through right now is a kind of $0 to $350-ish a day case study, while still just barely coming out of the product testing phase. We're going to talk about this, the numbers behind it, what was happening on Shopify. This was actually for a new client of ours inside of our advertising agency who has never done e-commerce before. They hadn't found a winning product. We had burned through a couple of products like you normally would when you're product testing. Try this one, doesn't work, spend like $100, keep trying products, and we're the ones identifying it for them. And keep doing it. It's just a numbers game, and eventually you find one that works. So the more you do something, the better you get. And this is exactly what we've been doing over and over again for years. So take a look at this. This is a screenshot from inside the ad account. I wanted to just show you the gaps inside the data and how this all works. So over on the left, you've got amount spent. And this is on a day-by-day situation. This is just a one-day view. Over here, all of these ad sets running individually, okay? Spending a total of $71 so far when the screenshot was taken. It ended up being a little bit higher. This was taken late in the day. You can see the reach. We're not really paying too much attention to that when we're just getting started. Same with link clicks, add to carts, checkout. We just kind of like to see that there's not huge gaps in the data. So to be honest, the fact that this number with the checkouts initiated is very close to the add to cart, that's likely. So that's just telling me that the ad account is tracking very accurately. Now, to see 3 purchases, it's not a whole lot of purchases. It's nothing crazy. But what's cool is you notice only 3 ad sets got purchases. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 that got no purchases. And that's what's cool. Even though that this was very profitable, this was operating at a 5 ROAS, and it was tracking correctly, which is nothing too out of the ordinary. You have a product that works well, hits right, you're focused on the creative, it works well. And I'm gonna go through the whole process here in a second. Well, it's good to see that a couple of these started popping purchases and at a very healthy ROAS. So this is a slightly higher ticket product. It's nothing crazy. But seeing these 4 that now didn't get sales, what happens when you turn those off? Well, now you're removing over 50% of the ad spend that was running that brought back no results, at least on this day. So as we're still building data, we're not killing anything too quick. We're giving everything room to breathe, room to run. We're still going to be launching new audiences. And now that we're starting to see some early signs of it working, and we're going to talk about in a second what we do moving forward, we just start moving on to the next steps. But this is great to see, and this is just a good example of what happens when you start product testing. You're doing research, you find products that look like they can work, and you just start testing them. Systematically, you're not being married to a product or emotionally connected to it. If it doesn't work, you're leaving. If it doesn't work on the second one, you're leaving. Okay, boom, the third one works. Cool, we're gonna rock with it until we see that we shouldn't anymore. So here's what we kind of do. It's like a 3-step initial process followed by a 4-step. So the first thing we're doing is identifying products. And again, this is exactly what we did for this client inside of our agency. If you guys aren't familiar with that, we do 2 things. We either help people scale who already have a bunch of stuff going. Before we start scaling in terms of the ad spend, we help them build out a system. So if their payment processors are not handled very well, we're gonna fix that. If their support's bad, we're gonna help them with that. If they need suppliers, we're gonna help them with that. So we kind of build a system, email flows, stuff like that. Then we aggressively start scaling the ad spend. But the other side of the spectrum, which is probably 80% of the clients that we work with, they have either no experience with e-commerce or they have not yet found success with e-commerce. And we charge them a much smaller retainer just to cover our cost, and then we take a percentage of the profits. So for that, it's just a numbers game for us, because if a client actually sticks with it, it's just a numbers game. You test enough products, you'll get results, and something will start working just like this one. And so what we do is we identify the products. So we do all the research in that situation. So this client had gone through multiple products that didn't work, which is the same thing that happens for everybody's store. Once we identify the product, we place it, meaning we put it on the store, we start structuring everything. So making sure that the product descriptions are good, the photos are good, the pricing is good, the titles, just kind of the layout, the format. We don't put too much attention on the store. And what's cool is actually from our clients who are starting from scratch, when our client gets onboarded inside of our agency, and this is just our onboarding process, they get access to a couple of videos. And it's like a little mini series that helps them do their job the best as what they possibly can. Part of their job is to build the product pages. So when we find products, we say, hey, go put this on the store. And now they already know how to structure the description and actually add it on the store. And they get to be involved, which is great because they can learn. So they place the product and then we start testing. So it's kind of us, them, us, right? So for like those first 3 steps, and then we just rinse and repeat until we find the winner. And as soon as that third part goes well with testing, you find a test that works just like this right here. That's when we move on to these next steps. That's when we start managing, okay? Managing and optimizing. Those are kind of the first 2 things. So if you look in here, we're still managing these ads. We're trying to optimize and we're trying to identify the best audiences and overall trying to get the first 100, 200, 300 sales coming in, because once you kind of get over that hurdle and things are looking good, now you have the data, the pixel's warm, it can help you start optimizing even better. You can move into lookalikes, retargeting, stuff like that. So for a case study example like this, all this stuff is still running. The stuff that's not even performing great, at least day by day, it's just a little spotty. So sometimes these will work great for a day or two and then a day or two with no sales, and they come back. It's just building data. It's a very normal process on Facebook, okay? So as we manage the ads, we start to optimize, identifying those audiences, work a little bit more on the ad creatives because we know it's starting to work. Then we'll start systemizing. Okay, so when you want to systemize, this is where you start making sure the processor is handled. You make sure the suppliers are taken care of. You make sure that there's a good plan in place for the support as you start to scale. So most of our clients, they do it themselves because when you're doing 10 orders a day, the odds of you even getting 1 email a day is very low. So you might have a handful of emails every week. It takes no effort. There's no point in hiring someone. It takes time to hire them, set them up, get them in the emails. That's something you do a little bit further. But we get a plan in place for systemizing, help with the supplier, some things like that. Then we start scaling. And that's where it gets fun. The scaling is enjoyable for us. That's where everybody makes a lot more money because we take a percentage of the gross profit, or the net profit. We take a percentage of that. And that's where we as an agency not only bring in the largest amount of revenue, but profit for us. So that's why we really put a lot of attention on this step right here with systemizing before we scale. Because if you don't scale, and you guys are going to hear more about this later this month, I have something I've been working on, but if you don't do what's called performance dropshipping, as you start to scale, you will lose your ad account, you'll lose your processor, and you will lose everything else that goes into it. I mean, it's very easy to have everything collapse if you don't follow the right system. So that's why for our clients, we focus a lot on systemizing before we actually start increasing that spend. Because when we increase the ad spend, it's not $10 extra a day. I mean, one of our clients was doing $2,000 a day at the beginning of the month in sales. By the end of the month, she was doing $35,000 a day. So you're going from spending like $600 a day to spending whatever it was, $11,000, $12,000. I mean, that's a huge jump. It's nothing too crazy, but I mean, that's a pretty aggressive curve after having to start systemizing during that period as well. So that level of ad spend scaling was really just in the last 2 weeks. So nonetheless, you just repeat this over and over again. This is what we do. It's a numbers game. So for us as an agency with clients who actually want to stick with it and work with us, but also if you're trying to take things kind of on your own and you want to test products, you have to stick with it. It's just a numbers game. So we always talk, we've actually made some videos recently talking about product research. You're looking for products that you think are worth testing. You're not looking for a winner or a magic unicorn. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. So we'll talk more about that in some other videos. But if you guys want to speak with one of the client managers inside of our advertising agency, get a little bit more information on how we actually structure the partnership with the client, what your roles are, what our role is, and exactly what we're doing, you can go ahead and click one of the links in the description, book a free call, see exactly what we do. We just get our cost covered in terms of the team that we're working with. So we have 8 media buyers, 2 website developers, and a client manager, and they can help you set everything up. This is what we do for dozens of clients, and we've been doing it for over a year. I've been doing it for myself for over 5 years. So if you guys want help, go ahead and hit that link, free call, ask any questions. It's definitely not for everybody, and we have a certain criteria as well for who we work with. But if you have any questions specifically relating to this video, drop it in the comment section down below. A lot of those comments inspire new video topics, so you just might see your question answered in a video. All right, hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you got some value talking about this entire really cool case study and getting to see inside the ad account real quick. So hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.